Hello YouTube, welcome back to Essence Presents Production YouTube channel. My name is Liz. I am the multimedia producer and creative content strategist. Essence Presents Production is a media production and content marketing business where we help entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, craft artisans, and wellness businesses streamline their content so they can get back to doing more of what they love. Today we are going to be talking about 3 actionable steps that you can take to avoid content creation burnout as a creative solopreneur. So what does this exactly mean? We as creative solopreneurs doing whatever we are doing, whether we are a photographer, a freelancer, a consultant, all of these I would consider a creative solopreneur, somebody who kind of has their hands in many different places in their online or in-person local business. At the end of the day, we have so much to do, and content creation is kind of the last thing that we want to be worrying about when it comes to growing our business, thriving in our business, and making steps toward our goal in terms of our business, our ideal life. And with the constant rise of these digital platforms, it is really difficult for creative solopreneurs specifically to kind of balance their time and manage the content creation process in a way that actually helps them get ahead versus holding them back and holding them in a place where they feel like they're in constant creation mode, which inevitably lends itself to burnout. I own 2 businesses myself, so I actually have kind of a viewpoint that lends itself to understanding what it means to be kind of a crafter or a creative solopreneur. I know I use these terms a lot, but it all relates back to me and what I've experienced in my own process. And I can honestly say that managing social media has always felt like a full-time job to me. It is actually the reason Essence Presents Production exists, because I was constantly creating content in my other business called Brilliant Pit. I have some links below if you're interested. And I was realizing that I wasn't doing the thing that my business was actually meant to do, like meant to serve. I wanted to study more. I wanted to do more of the product creation and the business processes, the behind the scenes processes. And all I found myself doing was creating content. Not only because it was easy for me at the time, I come from a background in marketing and media, so it has always been my jam and I've always been good at it. I found it really difficult to focus on anything else just for having the intention for a presence, an online presence. And that's huge for people because for a lot of us, we want to be online. We want to work totally remote in what we're doing. That is kind of this new age goal, new age ideal, which I completely understand, and I also am working towards that as well. But it gets to be really difficult when we are in the beginning and we really should be focusing solely on business. I think we can all agree that content creation burnout is kind of a new issue. This wasn't really an issue up until about 5 years ago when social media kind of took over the landscape, especially for businesses, as it got more and more popular to have a presence, more and more popular to just be online. And I think that this is a huge element to what I believe is holding a lot of creatives back, because as a creative person, you're sensible, you're sensitive to things. And when you have to go online, when you're pressured to have to do these things, maybe because you're literally unable to at the time because you're still starting your business, that is where I see this being the biggest problem. And that's exactly why I'm here to help. And this point about kind of as of 2020 with the digital boom and everyone being online and everything kind of having this expectation to be online, I've always had kind of a personal issue with that mindset, because I don't personally believe that online marketing, online anything is meant for everybody. I definitely believe if you are interested in it but you don't have a background in it and you want to learn about it, go ahead. That's awesome that you want to kind of learn how to integrate it. It's a very, very valuable skill. I've been a social media manager for about 5 years now, so I'm really well versed in it. But I've always had an issue with kind of the mindset that like everybody should be doing this. I genuinely don't believe that. I think this is a full-time job to be a content creator and to be somebody who is cognizant of trends, cognizant of industry conversations and things going on. I don't think, for instance, a business owner who sells herbal products really wants to be online, nor should they be online, kind of managing this whole landscape that is their brand. I genuinely think that people like me and people who are managing online marketing campaigns and processes, I think these are the people that are really meant to do this. And it really isn't meant for everybody. So I want to just say that as kind of a statement that I don't believe everybody should be creating content, especially business owners, wellness industry leaders, people who kind of work in that line of being more present in their day-to-day life and being more in person. So I am going to get into the 3 actionable steps that will help you as creative solopreneurs to not get bogged down, burnt out by content. It is really, really difficult to do this, and I am not by any means saying that these are the tips that are going to save you forever. I am still doing my own kind of research in this era of kind of content creation. And as a content creator myself, it's kind of a trial and error situation. So I am just here to help you along the way, teach you a little bit about what I've learned over the past 5 years as a social media manager who has been creating content since even before that, and give you just some realistic, really tangible tips that can actually help you if you wanted to implement this kind of stuff tomorrow. My first actionable step is to outline exactly how much free time you have during the week to create high quality content. So this can only really be done and defined by you. You should basically lay out your week and figure out where your free time slots are, right? Say you have about 4 free time slots. Are each of these time slots enough time to allow you to create high quality content? And so what do I mean by high quality? Basically, it either gives your audience high inspiration, education in some way through your authority in your industry, or it is entertaining and all of them have calls to action toward something else in your business. So let this be your baseline. This time that you define as your free time that you can create high quality content, this is going to be your baseline. And what do I mean by that? We are not trying to define the amount of content we want to create first. That is not the point here. We want to define how much time we have first, and then decide with that time how much content we can create that is still maintaining that quality. In order to have high quality content, we need to have boundaries in some way. Say that we have 1 hour of free time every week, and that's really all we have, and that is totally fine. I'm not saying that that's undoable here. But if you have 1 hour of free time every week to dedicate to your content creation, we are not going to say that that hour allows us to make 5 posts for the next week or something. That is unrealistic. So with this tip, obviously do your best to just be as realistic as possible, and say you end up with the conclusion that you can really only create 1 post per week with high quality, then let that be it. And a little side note or tip here that I have with that is that if you have less content than you ideally would like, try instead to put that same content on different platforms. Now, this is especially important for those beginners out there, people who are just getting into this content creation process. And I don't mean beginner business owners, I just mean beginners on the kind of digital marketing space. It's really important to actually test out what platforms are performing the best for your kind of content. And this, I want to just give like a fair warning. You're gonna have trial and error with the kind of content that you decide to kind of invest your creation time in. It's not always gonna be perfect. It's not always gonna end up being the perfect thing, and that is okay. The point is to figure out what works for you, what platforms work for you, and the time that works best for you. Let this, again, be your baseline for everything else, every other step that I have here. So my second step here, start to view your creation time as an exciting, unique time in your day where you get to talk directly to who you're serving and nobody else. And also allow this mindset to guide your creativity as you come up with content ideas in the future. So this actionable step has become definitely more and more important to me over the years. But I want to kind of explain this through something I've also noticed in kind of the creative process. So I don't know if any of you are painters, editors, or anybody who works with pure creativity. So whether that be drawing, editing photos, editing videos, but purely working with an art form. So whether it's like a picture or something just visual. Do you notice that when you are creating or editing something and you're listening to music or you're listening to a movie in the background or an audiobook, do you ever notice that you look back on those pieces that you did, the work of art that you made, and you realize yourself that you understand the influences that you were listening to at the time? Because it's almost coming out in your work. Maybe photos are a bit more moody than you proposed them to be, or something is a little bit more emotion invoking in some way. What this means and what this basically proves is that our environment influences our work. And when we do work in a mindset that is exciting and we get to speak directly who we are serving, kind of like how I am right now, it becomes exciting, especially when you are doing the thing that you were meant to be doing. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume that we are all well-versed and well-acquainted with what we are supposed to be doing. But I do have another video on kind of finding purpose. If that is something you're also interested in, I will link that in the description below. Creating content is already an extra on our to-do list. And it's no wonder that sometimes we find resentment towards it because it's taking away from time from our loved ones, or it's taking away from our free time, which we really, really, really value. But the best advice I could give you for this is to try your best to make it exciting, fun, and something that you genuinely enjoy, because that positive feeling and that positive energy is going to come out in your work and it's going to be worth it. My best tips for you here is always try to reward yourself afterwards if creating content is a pain point for you, and try to work as efficiently as possible with no distractions, just so you can get things done as quickly as possible. But never diminish the quality just because you want to get something done faster. So my last actionable step for you to avoid content creation burnout is to consider implementing systems and automation tools so you can truly set it and forget it. So automation tools might sound scary for you if you've never really done things online, but I promise you it is not that scary. And once you understand how everything could work together seamlessly to automate a lot of processes, you might be convinced that these systems could absolutely help you as well. And the biggest benefit with all of these automation tools is they save you time. And every single tool I'm about to list off is free other than one. So budget is not an issue here. I am about 4 to 5 years into my solopreneurship journey, and I don't think I could live without these tools. So take what resonates here and let's get into the list. Number 1 is Canva, graphic design. This is a free app or website that you can create any design you desire. And basically, you can sign up for a free account and you only will have access to certain elements and designs and templates. But it is the perfect place to start if you are looking to design any marketing collateral or anything digitally and even in person that you would use in person and print. So business cards, flyers, brochures, all things like that. Canva also allows you to access your brand kit and logos. So that means colors, elements, just branding in general, as well as your logos in one place in every single design. So you can access it from this sidebar. And that, I would say, is probably my favorite thing about Canva, because it allows every new design that I create to always have the same branding and everything looks to be aligned branding wise. Canva is truly unmatched in terms of a lot of the tools that I use, so I highly recommend it for solopreneurs who are just getting into the digital marketing area. The next tool would be Later or Meta. So Later is a social media scheduling tool. So basically you can schedule posts through this one app, and basically Later has the option to post on multiple different apps. So literally all of the short form social media apps, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook. I know I'm probably missing something, Pinterest. You can post the same post on all platforms with the same caption, with the same everything, and you can even customize it to match up what each app really supports. For instance, YouTube Shorts really support tags over hashtags. Meta is another scheduling tool that is through Facebook, and I believe it is called Meta for Business. And you can go in there and schedule posts the same way as Later, except that you can only post on Facebook and Instagram. And these posts, obviously on both apps, you cannot have the ability to add music like you would normally when you are uploading manually. But this scheduling tool is perfect for people who post a lot of graphics, photo images, even reels that you have royalty-free, copyright-free music on. This is one of the best tools for streamlining content publishing, which is really a big part of why a lot of us get stuck with content creation, because the publishing process and typing out the caption and getting all the hashtags right is such a long process. So this is one of my favorite tools. It's called Later and or Meta, but I would consider Later, although it is paid. But I do believe that you can do a 14-day free trial with Later. Meta is also completely free. So the next tool is Asana or Coda for business task management. So for all my folks who really love organization and cannot think for the life of them all of the tasks that they have to do in one day, these tools are perfect for project management, especially if you have teams. It's very user-friendly, Asana and Coda. Coda, I would say, is a bit more advanced, and I'm actually not sure if Coda has a free version. Asana definitely does, though. And basically, it's very situated for assigning tasks to people. Even if that's yourself, and even if you're the only one using it, it is still a lifesaver for figuring out what you have to do at all times of the day and even in the month or year. There are certain segments in Asana that can track what you have going on in a timeline. So you will always know when something is due, you will always know when something's overdue, or when things are coming up the pipeline. So those are my favorite free option business management tools. The next one is Google Drive and Google Calendar. We all know how much I love Google Calendar. I actually have a video on how I utilize Google Calendar that I will link below. These places, Google Drive, Google Calendar, arguably the best places for starting a business. These are notoriously free tools that have a lot to offer. The storage is high. The options for getting a certain layout, for instance, Excel, or what they call Google Sheets, presentations, documents. Google Drive has pretty much everything you need, and they do it in the most simplest form. So it's very understandable, it's very much user-friendly as well, and it is probably the best place for having your foundational documents, for having your foundational things that you just need to store somewhere online in a safe place. Google Drive allows you to share with certain people or share certain folders with certain people and other folders not shared. So there is a lot of access control going on in Google Drive, and it is by far one of the best places to start as a business owner for organizing and storing your files. My next tool is Notes on Apple devices. So this is the place where I write down my content ideas as they come to me. I always have found it so important to track your ideas as they come to you. I think that for a lot of creative solopreneurs, this is a common thing that we often don't think about tracking, but it is so important. Realistically, you won't be walking around with a journal all the time. So as things come to you, it is so important to write things down, and I just think the best place to do that is in Apple Notes. I also have other things in my notes that help with content creation as well, like hashtag banks. And I organize it for the type of content. So when I'm posting, I can just go into my notes, my hashtag bank, and copy and paste the specific hashtags that I want to use for that post because it has to do with a certain topic. In Notes, you can also pin certain notes to the top so you don't have to go looking and scrolling in all of your notes. And that is one of the best features I think is in Notes. The next system I want to talk about is Wix website hosting and email marketing. So Wix is my website host, and I can't say better things about Wix because it basically has everything you need in it. So that means email marketing, invoicing, all the forms you need to get clients and acquire clients. And it basically has way more that I'm not thinking about right now, but those are the top two things that I use it for: email marketing, website hosting, and invoicing. So this is especially and particularly best for creative solopreneurs who run a service-based business. They're a consultant. You basically have everything in one with Wix. I'm not sure if the other website hostings have the same kind of situation, but Wix specifically has always had everything that I needed, even when I go looking for it. And I've never had a problem with any of the email marketing integrations, even though it's not one of the most popular email marketing platforms. I've never had a problem, and I actually love how everything is kind of in one place. This one is not free. Wix is not for free. You have to pay a yearly subscription or a monthly subscription. But as we all know, as a creative solopreneur, it is so important to kind of have a website that is super professional looking. So if you are looking to have a new website or integrate your website onto a new hosting platform, I highly recommend Wix for kind of including all-in-one options. My last tool is, you guessed it, AI. So ChatGPT and Claude, which is another AI kind of conversation app, are tools that I use very often. This is probably one of my favorite new ways for automating business processes, only because it saves a lot of time if you know how to use it. And basically the ways that I use it are way more for like the back end elements of business. So when I have a YouTube video and I get the transcription, or I have the blog, the written format, I basically copy that, put it into the AI, and ask for the best SEO optimized YouTube tags that humans would search, and I get really specific even with the chat. So I say, this is for this kind of video, I am a blank business, this is what I do, this is the purpose of the video. Give me the most optimized YouTube tags that people would be searching to find my video. And it does it. Another way that I see a lot of people using AI is for content creation purposes. And I just have one cautionary thing with that. There are a lot of systems now with kind of this advanced technology that can track AI written content. So you want to do your best to not make AI help you with the customer facing, client facing work, but more so with kind of the back end stuff. So meta tags for SEO, YouTube descriptions, things that are very automated. But if you do end up using content creation with AI and you want it to write your social media captions and your blogs, just make sure that you are constantly reviewing and making sure that it doesn't sound like AI and that there's no way that anything could track it as AI. I think as things progress, there will be a lot more on AI and tracking AI written content that I don't know if I would ever recommend anyone being a part of that. I think that it is also just way better to be yourself, way better to have content that comes from you for your audience anyway. So I hope that this video helped you out a lot. I know that content creation burnout is real, and there's not always a solution for people, and I know that for a fact. I want to remind you that I am a content creator. I do content marketing and media production, so I do kind of the whole gamut. I have content strategy experience as well as production experience in photography and videography, and I kind of specialize in that short form videography that is focused on aesthetics. So if you were interested in understanding more about what I do with Essence Presents Production, head over to my website. I will link everything below. And if you want to become a part of my community on Essence, I highly suggest that you either sign up for my newsletter or join my Facebook group, which is now open to the public. I've never opened it to the public before. It was mainly just a client group, but this is basically a Facebook group called Seasons and Sessions, and I offer monthly seasonal wellness for business and lifestyle videos every single month that incorporates my studies in astrology, cyclical nature, and everything I do with Brilliant Pit, my other business. So if you are interested in that, plus I'm going to be offering mini sessions, mini photo shoot sessions every single quarter as of the fall of 2024. I am so excited for that. I've always wanted to do mini sessions. This will be offered mainly to my New Englanders and Hudson Valley, New York residents and or businesses. So I'm really excited for that offering. All that you need, everything I just mentioned is below, and if you want to just stay in touch with me, I highly recommend the newsletter. That gives you kind of a monthly roundup, one email per month of everything I have going on at Essence. Thank you again for watching. Give this video a like and subscribe if you want to hear more on content marketing, solopreneurship content, and I will talk to you next week.